Welcome back to the channel. I've got a Blu Ray update to share with you guys. A few titles I've picked up in the last month. Let's start off with '84's Razorback. Russell Mulcahy directed this. This is a beautiful film, sumptuously directed. Cinematography is fantastic. The Razorback, which is an animatronic Razorback, looked great. I highly recommend this. This is an umbrella release. Definitely recommend picking up Razorback. This is loaded with special features. Two audio commentaries. You've got 90-minute long making of featurettes. Good stuff from Umbrella. Highly recommend that release. Razorback 7 out of 10 from 1984. Next up is a Joe Dante film from 2009, and that's The Hole. And this is a kiddie horror film, but it's done well. It's just not my cup of tea. Basically, you've got a family that moves into a new house, and in the basement there's a hole, and the hole essentially is a gateway to hell. Bruce Dern has a cameo in this. It's like I say, it's well acted, it's well shot, well directed. But it's a kiddie horror film. It's straight up. That's what it is. It's mainly for teenagers or young teens, but it's decent. I give it a 6 out of 10. Next up, I'm kind of dragging my feet about adding this to the collection, but I was at Target. It was $9. I picked it up, and that's the Halloween reboot, sequel, however you want to call it, from 2019. I like the film. I still like it after multiple viewings, and I accept the fact that I can see the criticisms of the Doctor in this, and I can see the criticisms of the House of Traps. But all that aside, I still enjoy it. I think I enjoy it because it has the feel of the first film, with Michael Myers being this unstoppable force of nature versus being deconstructed, in terms of the Rob Zombie films. But I like it. I think it's still overall a good film. I give it a 7 out of 10. Next up is an Agatha Christie film from Kino, and that's Endless Night. And this is a Sidney Gillette film, starring Britt Eklund, who she gets involved with this photographer and ends up getting married to the photographer, but it appears that the photographer has ulterior motives and a dark side. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. This is from 1972. It's a slow burn. This is a film that it's a slow burn. It's not a giallo. It's more of just a psychological thriller. I liked it. I didn't love it. It came across as a little slow to me. This has an audio commentary and a trailer as the special features, but I still recommend picking it up. Next up is a film from Joe Cummings, who directed it and starred in it. I've been wanting to see this. 2020's The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Werewolf film, but really the werewolf story takes a back seat to the character study. It's a character study of this sheriff's son who's the incumbent to become sheriff. He's got a lot of problems. Alcoholic, very emotional. And I think in this film, I think the character study piece just fell flat for me. He becomes, to me, too whiny, too wimpy. It's too much. They kind of hit you over the head with the fact that the guy has emotional problems and temper management issues, things like that. Overall I liked it. Still a decent story. I give it a 6 out of 10. This had some behind the scenes and interviews. It was decent special features on it. Next up's a film I loved, and that's 2020's Unhinged. Wow, I love this film. Shot in and around New Orleans. Kenner area, and I recognize a lot of the areas where they shot this film. Russell Crowe plays this guy that just snaps and kills his ex-wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife. He's going through a nasty divorce, I guess. And he ends up chasing this woman throughout the whole movie because she honked her horn at him and told him to go through the green light. And it was a great film. Russell Crowe's fantastic in it. I mean, he's very menacing in this. Good stuff. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And then finally, an underrated, not very talked about slasher film, more like a supernatural slasher, and that's 1982's Superstition. James Robertson directed this, and he has 2 other screen credits. I wish he'd done more because this was fantastic. It's about a witch from the 1700s that's persecuted and put to death, and then she comes back to seek revenge. There's some great kills in this, great atmosphere. It really feels much, it has a very Euro Gothic style to it. I thought it was fantastic. I really liked it. 7 out of 10. Highly recommend Superstition. This is a Scream Factory release, I believe, yeah. It's a new 2K scan, and it's got an interview with the director and actor, James Houghton. Good stuff from 1982. Highly recommend that one as well. Okay, well, that's going to do it for my short update. I'll have another update probably next week of some titles I'm working my way through. If you've seen those or you have any thoughts about them, leave them in the comments below. Thanks.